Um, did we really just get the news that we just got? Like, hold on. Nick Saban is retiring from Alabama? Is it there's no way this news is real. Guys, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about the instant thoughts and look back at Nick Saban's career, but then also talk about names, right? The Alabama job. This is the question I'm going to give you guys today. Is this the most desired job in football, or is this a job you want to completely avoid altogether? Before we dive into it, guys, thank you for tuning into the PG Show, where we talk about all things college football. Normally, we would be talking about Oklahoma football, but Nick Saban is big enough news to where we got to talk about him here. If you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like, you hit that subscribe button, and yeah, let's dive into it. Nick Saban retires from the University of Alabama. And for those of you who have watched college football for a while, you are very familiar with Nick Saban. He's been around everywhere. 1973 to 1976, he was at Kent State as a graduate assistant and a linebackers coach. In 77, he was at Syracuse as a outside linebackers coach. He was at West Virginia from 78 to 79 as a DB's coach. Ohio State from 80 to 81 as a DB's coach. 82 at Navy as a DB's coach. 83 to 87, he was Michigan State's defensive coordinator and DB's coach. He went to 88 and 89 to be the Houston Oilers DB coach. In 1990, he was at Toledo. And then 91 to 94, he was the Cleveland Browns defensive coordinator. In 95 to 1999, he went to Michigan State. 2000 to 2004, LSU. 2005 to 2006, the Miami Dolphins. And then, of course, from 2007 till today, he has been the head coach at the University of Alabama. An overall coaching career of 292 to 71-1 in college, 15 and 17 in the NFL. He was 19 of 12 in bowl games. He was 9 and 5 in the college football playoffs. He had 7 national championships, 11 SEC championships, 1 MAC championship, 12 SEC Western divisions. Listen, when you look at the impact that Nick Saban has had on players, former coaches, current coaches, Nick Saban was a guy that he won a lot of games and was able to convince former head coaches to come be a part of what we would jokingly call Nick Saban's coaching rehab tree. And you saw him spurt out coaches that won national championships. And up until recently, we were really wondering, could a former assistant take down the GOAT? And you started to kind of see the writing on the wall, and so many questions were asked. Is the Nick Saban dynasty over? Is the Alabama dynasty over? Is Nick Saban going to retire? And although the reports told you no, this was the year. Today was the day on the bingo card that Nick Saban decided he wanted to hang it up. And now we kind of sit here and ask ourselves, who are going to be some of the names that are thrown out there that could be in contention for this job? Well, obviously, I got to tell you guys, I would favor probably Kirby Smart or Lane Kiffin for this job. Those seem like the two best, I guess, candidates. A lot of people will tell you Dabo Swinney, because Dabo Swinney has done an incredible job at Clemson. Kirby Smart, Lane Kiffin, they're under the Nick Saban coaching tree. They're very familiar with Alabama, and you would imagine both of them would salivate at an opportunity to be the head coach at Alabama. Other names that I've seen out there, Kellen DeBoer, who did a fantastic job this year. You have Dan Lanning at Oregon, who has done a great job there, right? Like, those would all be young names that you would look at for the Alabama job. You imagine the Alabama athletic director, that this university, they have a plan in place. They know where they're going to go in the direction of this football program, and they know who they're going to go interview. I feel like they have an idea at who they would hire in the post-Saban era. I feel like this has been talked about many times, and I don't feel like this was something that was sprung on the laps of Alabama athletic directors and the university today. I don't feel like this was something that was just given them today and said, hey, I'm gone. I feel like they had conversations, so they know what's they know who they're going to bring in, at least for interviews. But this is pretty shocking. I mean, you talk about a coach that was revered and, to be honest, dare I say feared, a guy that had coached 4 Heisman Trophy winners, Mark Ingram, Derrick Henry, Devontae Smith, and Bryce Young. I mean, guys, I'm a fan of Oklahoma football. Oklahoma football has 7 national championships. Alabama, Nick Saban has 7 himself. 2003, 2009, 2011, 2012, 2015, 2017. His last one coming in 2020. And, a lot of Alabama fans felt optimistic when they made the playoffs this year that they might get to the national championship, but Michigan was just a little too much. And we've all heard it, right? Nick Saban doesn't enjoy recruiting. He doesn't enjoy NIL. Guys, this is pretty big. The question is, who's going to be the next head coaching? I want to hear from you guys, so make sure you're jumping down in the comments and letting me know. Like I said, I would believe the early favorites would be a Lane Kiffin, a Kirby Smart. I guess maybe you throw Dabo Swinney in there, but other names that you look at, Kellen DeBoer. You look at Deion Sanders, although I don't think that one is the most likely. You look at Steve Sarkisian down there at Texas. Dan Lanning. I don't believe Ryan Day would be in contention. Dare I say Jim Harbaugh could be a coach that Alabama would go out there and get? It sounds crazy that we're talking about all these coaches. I don't think anybody's off the table. I really don't. I don't think Alabama is going to take any names off the table and say, we can't get this guy. I think Alabama will pursue whoever they want to pursue, including NFL coaches, like maybe a Bill Belichick or somebody like that. The question is, does an NFL coach really want to come in and work in a college system? Probably not. Now, the question that I posed at the beginning, does the Alabama job, is it intriguing for anybody? Because you look at the Alabama job in the history that they've had over the past 15 years. The standards that any coach is going to have when they come in to replace Nick Saban is going to be astronomical. I don't think anybody comes in to this program and can live up to the expectations that Nick Saban has set. And if I'm a coach, I almost ask the university and the athletic department, what is my leniency? Because Nick set the standards high. And it might take us a little bit to get back to that point. Unless you bring in a guy like Kirby Smart or Lane Kiffin, who's familiar with the program, can continue to recruit at a high level. But Alabama's got to win some games next year, whoever your head coach is. If they don't, does the hype of Alabama fall off? Guys, this is really good news. And we're going to get Ty from Around the Table Sports on. We're going to get some other Alabama guys on to talk about this because this is big. And I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. So make sure you're tuning in. We're going to talk about this later this week. Join the discussion. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are.